My beloved child, there are seasons when I do not come to you with a resounding voice that shakes the mountains, nor do I step into your life with blazing signs that force every eye to see. I come in the depths of silence, where all the noise of the world gradually closes, where the things you once clung to no longer have enough strength to comfort you, and where your heart begins to learn a language gentler than every sound. You often think that when I do not answer in the way you expect, it means I am far away. But my child, it is precisely in that silence that I am nearer to you than you can understand. I do not withdraw to abandon you, but bend down very close to teach you to recognize my presence in a new depth, no longer dependent on outward noise, no longer needing great events, nor requiring answers to arrive immediately. I want you to know that my love is not only revealed when doors open, promises are fulfilled, and tears are wiped away at once. That love also quietly covers you in the days when you have not yet seen a way out, in the nights when your prayers seem to dissolve into a vast expanse without any reply. Because I love you, I have many times led you into the silent room of grace, where you no longer hear the praise and criticism of the world as clearly as before, where you are no longer swept away by urgent impulses, and where you no longer seek me only through things that are easy to recognize. In that room, I am not taking peace away from you. I am removing from you the layers of dust formed by anxiety, the cords of fear, and the false voices that once made you believe your worth lay in success, recognition, or immediate answers. Understand me, if I always spoke loudly, you might become accustomed to the echo and forget the one who is speaking. If I always gave you immediately what you asked for, you might love the gift more than the hand that gave it. Therefore, I allow you to pass through silent intervals, not to test you in loneliness, but so that your love may be refined, so that your faith will no longer rest on passing feelings, but be anchored in me, the one who does not change, though everything around you changes. Do you remember the story of Elijah? He had witnessed great power, had stood before fierce confrontations, had seen fire from heaven reveal my majesty, yet there also came a time when he was weary, confused, and thought he alone remained in the vast world. I did not meet him in the strong wind that tore the mountains, nor did I place my voice in the earthquake or the raging fire. I let those great things pass by, and only then did I come to him in a deep gentleness, a tender whisper so delicate that only one who knows how to become still could recognize it. My child, that was not my weakness, but the mysterious beauty of my power. I do not always need to shake heaven and earth to raise up someone who is exhausted. Sometimes I need only touch the deepest place within you with a gentle breath, and from there, you can rise again. Continue the journey, and take one more step in my light. Therefore, when you go through days when your heart feels dry, when you kneel down but feel no surge of emotion, when you call upon me and seem to hear only silence in return, do not hastily conclude that I have turned my face away. There are seeds that only germinate beneath dark soil, waters that only flow strongly in the deep places underground, and sacred works that are built quietly before they appear before human eyes. I am working within you like a patient goldsmith, placing gold into the fire, not to destroy it, but to remove what is impure, like a gardener pruning branches, not because he hates the tree, but because he wants it to bear more fruit in the next season. If you look only at the present moment, you will think you have been placed in a dry land, but if you look with faith, you will see that I am deepening your roots, so that when strong winds arise, you will not be torn from the ground I have prepared. I know there have been times when you were afraid of that silence. You wondered whether you had done something wrong, whether your prayer was too small, whether I was giving my love to someone else and had forgotten you. But my beloved child, Let me place this truth into the deepest part of you. I have not forgotten your name. I have not lost the sound of your sighs. And I have not overlooked a single tear that fell in the dark. My silence is not a wall of separation, but a door leading you into deeper intimacy. When a child is very young, the father often has to speak many words so the child can understand the way. But when the child grows, a single look, a touch, a quiet presence can be enough to bring comfort. I am teaching you to enter that maturity, where you no longer need everything to be explained immediately, no longer demand that every promise bloom before your eyes, but learn to lean on me even when spring has not yet come. There are things I do not say right away, because if I spoke too soon, you would grasp the information and miss the transformation. There are doors I have not opened yet, because if they open too quickly, you would step into a wide place with a heart not yet strong enough to carry it. There are answers I hold back, not because I am withholding, but because I want you to learn peace before receiving blessing, to learn trust before seeing results, to learn to love me for who I am and not only for what I do for you. Remember that Moses was not prepared in a splendid palace, but through long years in the wilderness, David did not immediately sit on the throne, but learned faithfulness among the sheep, and through days of being misunderstood, Joseph did not walk straight from the dream into glory, but passed through the pit, chain, and waiting. The silent stretches in their lives were not the end, but hidden pages in the great manuscript I was writing. So do not despise the quiet days. Do not consider seasons without movement to be useless. Do not think that only when you see a miracle am I at work. Sometimes the greatest miracle is not that the circumstance changes immediately, but that you still stand firm while the circumstance has not yet changed. Not that the door opens at once, but that your heart is no longer imprisoned in confusion. Not that the sky immediately blazes with light, but that in the darkness, you still know I am holding your hand. I am teaching you to distinguish between the absence of sound and the absence of presence. I may not speak in the way you expect, but I have never left you. I may not explain the whole road, but I am still the one who goes before you, walks with you, and guards you from behind. Let silence become a place of rest for you, not a place where you condemn yourself. Let the days without answers become an altar of faith, where you offer me a surrender purer than words. When the world urges you to hurry, I invite you to slow down. When worry tells you to save yourself, I invite you to lean on me. When darkness whispers that you have been forgotten, I place within you a quiet light that nothing can extinguish. Then a time will come when you look back and understand that I was not silent in the way you once thought. I spoke through the waiting, through the closed doors, through the times you were kept from what seemed good but was not meant for you. Through every small step, you still had strength to take. I spoke through quiet faithfulness, through mercy without display, through steadfast love that gently surrounded you day by day. In the stillness I give, you think everything is slowing down. But in truth, many hidden things are being reordered. I place you there to uproot from your heart the old voices that once made you shrink back, the criticisms you heard for too long, the memories of failure you once treated as a sentence, the times you were overlooked that made you think you had to strain just to have the right to exist. I do not want you to move forward with those marks leading you, because if you carry fear into blessing, you will turn blessing into a battlefield. If you carry insecurity into opportunity, you will see everyone around you as a rival. If you carry an unhealed wound into a spacious place, you will mistake every challenge for a threat, when many things are simply lessons meant to mature you. Therefore, I am not only preparing you for what I will give, I am also preparing you so that you can carry it with a humble, gentle, and clear heart. Sometimes you see the still region before you, as a dry place. But in my eyes, it is the holy room of restoration. That place is not empty, as you imagine. There, my hand is quietly preparing food for your weary mind. There is peace broken into small portions, so you can learn to taste it day by day. There is light that does not dazzle, but is enough to lead you through the long night. When you learn to stop, I have room to act. When you cease trying to hold everything with trembling hands, I can place into your hands something more enduring, not because I am powerless while you struggle, but because love does not force. I stand near you, patiently waiting for you to lay down the burdens you thought you had to carry completely. I do not want merely to help you solve a few outward troubles. I want to heal the way you see yourself, the way you see time, the way you see closed doors and unopened paths. Remember the story of Ruth, the woman who walked through loss in silence, without a trumpet announcing her, without crowds applauding her, without any promise sounding before her eyes to guarantee that tomorrow would be easier. She was simply faithful in small things, following her mother-in-law, gathering the leftover stalks of grain, humbling herself to do a modest task in another person's field. But in that very hiddenness, I guided her steps to the place appointed for her. She did not need to push her way forward in order to be seen. Her faithfulness released its fragrance before the right person at the right time. What you learn from that story is this: there are doors that do not open through noise, but through gentle endurance. There are encounters that do not come through competition, but through my hand, quietly connecting things. There are seasons that seem to be only a gathering of leftovers, but in truth are laying the foundation for an inheritance far beyond what human eyes can see. Therefore, do not regard slowing down as a rejection. I am saving you from races that do not bear your name, from thrones you do not need to sit upon, from competitions whose only prize is deeper exhaustion. There are places the world calls opportunities, but if you enter while your inner being is still disordered, they will wear down your peace. There are invitations that sound very attractive, but hidden behind them is a price I do not want you to pay. There are promotions that appear honorable, but if they pull you far from my rhythm, they will become a heavy garment that makes it hard for you to breathe. I love you too much to let you win a battle that does not belong to you. I cherish you too deeply to let you spend your strength merely to prove that you are worthy. When you enter rest, you do not become passive, you become clear-sighted. Rest is not giving up, but placing control back into my hands. Rest is not standing still in fear, but standing firm in faith. The hurried person often thinks he is moving quickly, when many times he is only running in circles around his own insecurity. The one who knows how to become still may take fewer steps, but each step is placed in the right position. I do not teach you to live according to the frantic pace of the crowd. I teach you to walk according to the rhythm of the kingdom, where the seed is not pulled up from the ground just because the sower is impatient, where the harvest does not come sooner through anxiety, and where the promise does not need noise in order to be fulfilled. There is a new order I am placing within you, gentle yet firm. First, I place gratitude where comparison once lived, so you no longer look at someone else's portion as an accusation against your own. Then I place trust where control once lived, so you no longer think everything will collapse if you do not hold it yourself. After that, I place authority where trembling once lived, so you understand that gentleness does not make you weak. Patience does not cause you to lose, and silence at the right time has more strength than 1,000 words of self-defense. When that order is restored, you will no longer need to chase peace like a thirsty person chasing a mirage. Peace will remain within you, like a spring I have opened from the inside. I know there are days when you still hear the old urgency returning, telling you to hurry, to prove yourself, to seize, to worry ahead of time about everything. But each time that voice rises, return to me in quietness. Let me remind you that you have not been forgotten. Let me teach you that my timing does not arrive late. Let me show you that hidden preparation is no less sacred than public manifestation. The world may only see the day you are lifted up, but I see every night you learn to trust. Every morning you choose not to give up. Every moment you release a worry from your hands and place it before me. Not one act of surrender from you is meaningless. Not one quiet tear is overlooked. Not one day of waiting lies outside my care. So then, my beloved child, do not keep running in fear of being left behind. What I have for you does not require you to lose your peace in order to keep it. Walk more slowly, but do not lose hope. Rest in me, but do not stop believing. Let every noise settle down, so you can hear the gentle word I have still placed within your heart. I have gone before you. I have prepared the way for you. I have guarded the portion that belongs to you. When the right season comes, you will not have to break down the door to enter. The door will open by my hand. When the right person appears, you will not need to display yourself in anxiety. What I have placed within you will release its own fragrance. When the appointed time ripens, you will understand that the quiet region was not the place where you were delayed, but the place where you were renewed, reordered, and led back into a pure and steady rhythm of life. And from that place, you will step out no longer as one controlled by fear, but as a child who knows that you belong to me, walking in my peace and receiving everything at the right time from my loving hand. My beloved child, there are falls in your life that I do not use to make you bow your head in shame, but to teach your feet to stand more firmly on the path I have chosen. You once thought mistakes were proof that you were not good enough, not wise enough, not worthy enough to move forward. But I see those things with different eyes. In my hands, what you call stumbling can become a stepping stone. What you call failure can become a classroom. And what you once wanted to bury can become the place where I sow deep understanding. I do not come near you as a judge waiting only to record your faults, but as a father bending down to lift a dust-covered child, wipe away the tears, and take that child's hand to show the way again. I do not rejoice in your pain, but I can turn that pain into light. If you allow me to enter the place you once closed because of shame, at times you acted too quickly, spoke too hastily, chose too soon, left too abruptly, or grasped something your heart was not yet prepared to carry. You were not wrong because you lacked understanding, but because you had not yet become still enough to distinguish between my voice and the chaotic urging of unhealed desires. An inexperienced craftsman, when holding a blade over a piece of wood, often thinks strength lies in a very swift strike, but the skilled craftsman knows how to listen to the grain of the wood, knows where to be gentle, where to stop, and where to turn the hand at the slightest angle so the whole piece will not crack. You are the same. I am teaching you the art of walking with sensitivity. Not every open door is my invitation. Not every strong emotion is guidance. And not every opportunity shining before your eyes belongs to the journey I have prepared for you. When you stop seeing mistakes as a sentence and begin seeing them as pages I use to teach you, a door of peace will open within you. Those who do not understand my love will see every crooked cut as something cursed. But those trained by me will learn to look back on the first clumsy strokes of the blade with gratitude, for through them, their hands become steadier, their eyes sharper, and their patience greater. You too will come to that day. The day when you look back on the years that once made you cry and no longer tremble as before. You will no longer ask only why it happened, but will recognize what I formed in you through that very thing. You will see that without the times you were stopped, you might have entered a place not meant for you, without the losses, You might have kept holding something that was quietly draining you, without the moments of breaking. You might never have learned how to place your heart in my hands. Remember Peter, the one who was once full of zeal, who spoke strong words, who thought he could stand firm through every trial. But when the night fell and pressure surrounded him, he denied what he had once declared with all his fervor. The rooster's crow that day was like a needle touching the deepest place within him, not to destroy him, but to awaken him. He wept, not because I had stopped loving him, but because he recognized the distance between what he believed about himself and what he truly needed from me. Do you see? I did not let his story end with those tears. Afterward, I restored him with love, entrusted responsibility to him again, and turned the man who had fallen because of fear into one who rose up to shepherd my flock. If I can turn Peter's weakness into soil for humility and courage, I can also use the things you regret to deepen faithfulness within you. Regret, my child, is not a rope meant to bind your feet forever in the past. When it is placed in my hands, it becomes an awakening bell, reminding you that you have stepped out of the rhythm of peace I intended for you. The world often turns regret into a heavy garment, forcing people to wear it day after day, as though self-torment could make them pure. But in my house, regret is not given to push you away, but to invite you to draw near again. It is like a small lamp still burning in the night, signaling that within you there remains the ability to hear, the ability to return, the ability to be shaped and made new. The enemy wants you to misunderstand that bell, wants you to think pain is the final sentence, so that you will run from me, hide your face, and imprison yourself in shame. But I use that very ache as a lighthouse, showing you that the shore of mercy is still wide open. Do not be afraid when your heart hurts because of something you have done wrong. Hardness is more frightening than pain that knows how to turn back. When you can still grieve over what does not please me, it means that within you there is still a place able to hear the invitation of light. I do not want you to sink into self-blame until you no longer dare to lift your face. I want you to bring that regret before me, so I can wash it free from condemnation, preserve within it the portion of wisdom, and place in you a new way of walking. I do not demand that you pretend nothing happened, nor do I tell you to treat the consequences lightly. I simply do not want you to turn the past into a throne and allow it to rule your present. What happened can teach you, but it has no right to define you when I have called you by the new name of mercy. Each time you return to me, you learn another truth about love that does not give up. You learn that I do not expect you to hide the dark corners, because I have already seen everything and still love you with steadfast love. You learn that maturity is not never stumbling, but after every fall, knowing how to return more quickly, more humbly, more tenderly to my voice. You learn that wisdom does not come only from the days when you did everything right, but also from the days when you were brave enough to look at what you did wrong without running away. When you allow me to teach you from the very place that once caused you pain, that wound is no longer only a sorrowful memory, it becomes a marker of grace, where you realize that I lifted you up when you thought you no longer had strength to stand. My beloved child, there are things I placed in your hands very early, before you even understood what had been entrusted to you. You thought it was only a burden, a small responsibility, a hidden season, a lesson no one could see, but in my eyes, it was the first jewel of entrustment. I do not always announce in advance the day I choose a person. I do not always let the trumpet sound before I place within them the mark of divine intention. Many times, I entrust something precious in a very ordinary form, so ordinary that you may mistake it for daily work. Endurance, a chance encounter, or years spent in the background. But my child, my hand never places anything wrongly. What I give you today may be small in the eyes of the world, but if you hold it with faithfulness, it will teach your hands to lift greater things without trembling, to carry honor without arrogance, and to step into high places while remaining tender before me. I did not allow you to pass through those previous seasons merely to make you weary for no reason. The days when you had to be patient though your name had not yet been called. The nights when you did what was right and no one knew. The times you were overlooked even though I was quietly preparing you within. All of these were ways I strengthened your hands. Hands that have never learned to bear weight will easily drop the jewel when something precious is entrusted to them. A heart that has never been purified in silence will easily turn a calling into a stage for itself. A person who has never learned to kneel before me will easily rise up in pride. Therefore, I am not in a hurry to place you before the crowd while the deep places within you still need to be reordered. I love you too much to give you a position before you have a foundation. I cherish you too deeply to allow what I give to become the very thing that draws you away from me. Understand this: the authority I give does not begin from a high seat, but from faithfulness in a low place. My throne is not like the thrones of the world. People often try to climb upward through a louder voice, sharper competition, and races to be seen. But those I choose are often prepared in the hidden place, where there is no applause, where only I see each quiet decision. You do not need to beg to receive what I have appointed. You do not need to push others down so you can be lifted up. You do not need to make the whole world believe you are worthy, because what belongs to me is not decided by the counsel of human beings. When I open a door, no one can close it with doubt. When I place a jewel in your hand, no one can steal the meaning of that entrustment, unless you trade it away yourself because of fear or pride. There is something many people do not understand. I often place the sign of chosen purpose into a person's hand before that person even knows the name of the path they are about to enter. You did not ask for a throne, but I placed a jewel in your hand. You did not know you were being lifted up, because you were busy learning how to bow low. You did not realize you were being prepared, because the lesson came in the form of small tasks, repeated duties, prolonged waiting, and moments when you had to keep your heart pure when no one was checking. But it is there that I see you. I see how you treat what is small. I see how you keep your word when there is no advantage. I see how you serve when you are not praised. I see how you stand firm when others move faster. And I know when your hands have become steady enough to carry what I call precious. Remember David, the youngest son in the house, the one who was in the field with the sheep, while others stood before human eyes as more impressive choices. When Samuel came to Jesse's house, human sight easily turned toward those who appeared strong, mature, and outstanding. But I do not choose according to the way human eyes measure. I look at what is hidden, at the faithfulness forged in the wilderness, at the hands that had protected the flock from danger, at the heart that knew how to sing to me when no one was listening. David did not force himself into the room of selection, nor did he campaign to have his name called. He was still in the most ordinary place of his life, doing the task entrusted to him. When I caused his name to be spoken, do you see? My choosing is not limited by your current position, whether you are in the field, in a hidden corner, or among tasks no one values. I know exactly where you are standing. There will also be moments in your life that surprise you. An invitation will come from a place you did not expect. A stranger will suddenly see what familiar people once overlooked. A door that had been tightly closed will open before you have even knocked. A sentence that seems simple will turn the whole direction of your path. When these things happen, you may think they are luck, coincidence, or a delayed result of past efforts. But my child, Do not forget that I am the one who quietly connects the lines your eyes cannot see. I can place your name in someone's memory at the right moment. I can cause a recommendation to surpass every expectation. I can make people notice you in a crowd, not because you are the loudest, but because my timing has come. What I have written in my plan does not need to push its way forward in order to take shape. There will be times when you wonder why you were chosen, when there are others more skilled, faster, more ambitious, more prominent. But do not measure what I do by the standards of the world. The world looks at resumes, achievements, reputation, connections, quickness, and the ability to promote oneself. I look at obedience, tenderness, faithfulness, and the ability to hold something precious without turning it into an idol. You are not chosen because you are more perfect than everyone else. You are placed in the right position because I know you are suited to what I want to reveal through you. There are people who could do that work faster, but would not carry the heart I desire. There are people who could speak more eloquently, but would not preserve humility in the authority given. There are people who seem more ready, but have not yet learned how to return glory to me. I am not looking for someone who merely knows how to sit on a throne. I am looking for someone who knows how to turn that position into a place of service. Therefore, when I lift you up, do not let the lifting make you forget the days when I trained you. Remember the nights when you cried and still chose to believe. Remember the times when you were passed over and still did not allow bitterness into your heart. Remember the small lessons that taught you to keep purity before anyone called your name. Those things are not a meaningless past. They are the stone foundation beneath your feet. If you forget where I met you, the high place may make you dizzy. If you forget my hand, the jewel may become something that makes you proud. If you forget that authority is given for service, the throne may become a shadow that blocks my light. But if you always remain near me, what I give will not destroy you. It will become a channel through which my kindness, wisdom, and light touch many people. My beloved child, keep your heart at peace when the door has not yet opened, and keep your heart humble when the door opens. Do not despise the season of preparation, because the jewel requires steady hands. Do not fear being left behind, because what I have appointed will not lose your address. Do not envy those who are called before you, because their timing does not steal yours. Do not diminish yourself through doubt when I bring you into a new place, because I do not choose you by coincidence. I knew you before you understood yourself. I saw what I had placed within you before others recognized it. I prepared the path before you knew you were about to leave the old place. And when I place the jewel in your hand, I will also teach you how to keep it, how to lift it, and how to return glory to me through everything you do. So then, do not run around searching for a throne in the marketplace of the world. Stay close to me. Be faithful with the small portion. Keep your hands clean, and allow your heart to remain tender before my instruction. When the right season comes, I will place you in the necessary position, not so you may display yourself, but so that others may see my faithfulness through your life. You will understand that the hidden years were not wasted. The secret lessons were not useless, and the times you had to bow your head did not make you lower. All of it prepared you to carry what is precious without dropping it, to stand in a high place without forgetting to kneel before me, to receive the entrustment and still live as a servant in the loving hand of your Father.